But I must admit, your car list doesn't really get cool until much later on in your life.
Yeah,
no, we
yeah.
had a look through it, and it's kind of
Random.
you say meh a lot through it.
Yeah, there is a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a lot of that. And then there's this odd hairdresser's car in the middle that I don't know why I did that. The reason I got a Hyundai was because the garage was literally 2 seconds down the road, and I thought, you know what, that's going to be handy for servicing and things like that, because I could literally walk home. So it was fantastic.
You're lazy, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. So I'm a nightmare when it comes to cars. I'm an absolute nightmare. So I'll get bored of them very quickly. So, I'm trying to convince the missus that I won't get bored of my 1 litre Ateca, but I'm already bored of it.
I got bored of it as soon as you said it.
I fell asleep when I test drove it. That's how terrible it was. Things you have to do for a family.
Right, thank you for your patience.
That's all right, mate.
A little bit
All
of
good.
faffing around to do before we started.
No problem.
Right.
Everything's good?
Yeah, one,
Yeah?
2, 3.
Right, welcome to Gasoline Junkies. My name's Russell. This is
Barry,
and
Wayne.
this is Wayne. And Wayne, would you like to tell us? Well, not who you are because you've already done that.
Yeah,
would you like to tell us what you drive at the moment?
Currently drive as a daily a 1 litre Seat Ateca. So
Okay.
boring, really boring.
I was going to say,
Not
we haven't
exciting.
got you on there to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my daily, and then my toys are Ram 1500 V8 Hemi. Yeah.
No, is it Hemi as well?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely,
brilliant.
yeah.
Oh, because obviously you've got the same Ram as Matt, who's going to be a future guest.
Ah, okay.
We was out playing with that the other day. You got to drive it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right,
I don't
fantastic.
think it's a Hemi, is it?
No.
No.
Is it Cummins diesel that he's got? That's the
No,
other-
it's
no, it is a Hemi.
Oh, it is a Hemi.
Is it?
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure it's a Hemi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right. Nice.
Right.
So he's LPG converted. Is yours
No, mine
you're
is
driving
pure.
pure gasoline?
Absolutely, yeah.
Fair play to you.
Yeah, I shall never do that because that's like against the law. Not my eyes. Never going to happen.
So, what's the fuel consumption like on something like that without?
To be honest with you, it's not so bad. So it's good on a run. So about 25, 26 UK. So yeah, I say it's not bad, but I mean, you're talking about 2.5 ton truck as well. So
That isn't too bad, all things
it's
considered.
pretty good.
We're having some technical issues. Is that better?
Yeah.
What, you can still hear it?
Yeah, it's clear, but it's gone off. The crackling's gone off.
Just keep us. We might as well swap them over if it does. So the reason I ask is because I've got a BMW 5 Series.
Yep.
And it's horrendous on fuel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like proper shit. And I drive like Miss Daisy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
literally,
gotcha.
like, I don't think I've ever been over 60 in it.
Right. Well, to be fair, rear-wheel drive, you just spin out anyway, wouldn't you?
Well, there is that. But I pretty much get about 18 to the gallon out of it.
18, really?
18 around town.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that is a bit poor.
That's very poor.
It
Yeah, that
is.
is, yeah.
So,
I'd have it looked at again.
again, it's in the garage
How many
now.
times? Oh, no.
It's not.
It is.
Oh, Russ.
Yeah.
We'll get on to that later. Have you done anything to your cars modification-wise? Obviously, the Ateca, I imagine it's the family transport.
Pretty much, yeah. That
Yeah.
just kind of sits and gets dirty and grows moss. Yeah, that's
Lovely.
about all.
What about the Ram? Any mods?
Yeah, so I've had the exhaust swapped out, for a nice bit of noise. When I got it, it was very basic, very quiet, and I thought, I want to just hear that V8, but I didn't want it to be over powerful. So that got swapped out for a stainless steel. Can't remember the make of it now, but I shoved it on myself on the driveway, and yeah, it just gives a lovely rumble from the back. No drone though, which is fantastic. It was pretty much already modded, to be honest with you. So it had, the off-road wheels, on it, and I've recently just had some radar chunky tyres put on, just to give it that real kind of beefy look.
Yeah.
Not done anything to the engine. I don't even know if there's any need because it's quick enough as it is, and you're constantly spinning the back wheels up. So yeah, I'll probably just leave the engine
Have you
part of
lifted it or anything, or is it stock suspension?
No, it's stock suspension, but I have considered a lift on it, but I keep hearing so many different things about should you lift them, should you not, because then you're changing, angles of your drive shafts and things, and I'm a little bit worried over long-term use if I did that, whether it would actually cause any damage, so I might just leave it as is.
We're going back from... Right, do you remember where we was before we was rudely interrupted?
Have you lifted it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Wait,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Yeah. No, I've not lifted it, no. It's as it is. Yeah, so I don't know whether I'm going to lift it or not, to be honest with you. It's one of them things that's kind of on the back burner. Do I, don't I,
The thing is with the Ram, they're really tall anyway, aren't they?
I mean, the missus struggles to get in it as it is. I have to use the step, and I'm 6'2", to jump into it. So, yeah, it's high enough, I think, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, just for that look, I don't know, maybe a 2-inch lift or something.
So
yeah.
what was the? Why did you go with the Dodge Ram?
So I had the Mustang before,
Yeah,
so I owned that for 8 years. So I was kind of getting to the point where I was done with it, to be honest with you, you know. And then we had a little one, so when he turned up, the Mustang was never going to be any good for any of that. Even though it's got the Isofix in the back, you sort of look in the door and go, no, it's just not going to fit. So, you know, friends of mine have got other American cars, you know, and I've been in a Challenger, you know, Camaro, stuff like that, and there was just, I considered a Charger, obviously 5-door, or 4-door with a boot. So I thought, I don't know, I just sort of thought, let me just go something completely different. So I went full redneck and went and bought the truck.
Brilliant.
Yeah, best decision I made.
Yeah.
Does the new Charger though, because the name is synonymous with American muscle.
Yeah.
Now that they've brought out a Charger with a 5-door and a boot,
Yeah.
doesn't it dull the name down a little bit?
Potentially, yeah.
It does in my. We're huge American car fans, and to us, the Charger is Dominic Toretto in Fast and the Furious.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thumping great supercharger, and to get a 5-door with a boot, kind of dilutes the name a little bit.
It's turning it into a family wagon, really, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's a great looking car. It really is, but it's one of those where you sort of have a little pull towards it and go, that's gorgeous, and then in the end you go, meh. That's it. You know, you just sort of lose it a little bit with it, you know. Whereas the Ram is just, you know,
the Ram is what it is.
You can't dull that down. It's a massive truck. You're just not gonna dull that down at all.
Yeah. So we were lucky enough. Was it last Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to hire a Hellcat, and obviously Matt's got a Dodge Ram, so we were driving down the runway. Filming. So I was hanging out the back of Chris's pickup truck.
Yeah.
Like an inch away from the ground. And then you got the Hellcat coming towards me with that supercharged engine. It just sounds.
Yeah, don't talk to me. I had to work.
But it's obviously coming towards us. Then you got the Dodge Ram, and then as they're going past you, it's just as days go, that was one of the best what we've had.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that Hellcat is just a beast in itself. You know? And like I say, with a supercharger on it, you're just not going to beat that.
I personally prefer it without the supercharger.
Okay.
Because
get out.
You got to hear me out.
No.
just clench your fist.
It's not happening.
I think it just screams, doesn't it? That a supercharger screams at you. Where I think like a normal V8 just roars. It's just got like a more of a I don't know. It's just my personal preference.
Yeah. Is that
sorry, Barry?
No, we're really going to fall out on this one. No, but they still roar like hell from the back.
Yeah.
And they whine as hell from the front.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, it's the perfect combination.
Yeah.
The Hellcat's got 2 keys, isn't it? It's got the black key and the red key.
Red key, yeah.
Did you have the red key or the black key?
I had the red key.
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah, so I think it turns it from 500 brake to 600. No, it's 800.
More than that, 800.
804 or something.
Are you still having issues with that? That's the only thing different. I'm hoping it is that anyway.
I'll let you know, Laurie.
You're going to have to do a lot of editing.
This is going to
take a while to get out.
This is going to take some faffing around.
Right,
How many keys did you have?
How many keys? Red key, wasn't it? Red key, black key. It's like the Matrix.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right, so you've sent us a list already, but can you reiterate in a little bit? How many cars have you owned?
About 22. Yeah, about 22. I was going through the list and I might have missed 1 or 2 out, but you know when you're sort of just trying to think back in time, thinking when did I swap that one for that one and that one and that one? So I'm a nightmare when it comes to cars. I'm an absolute nightmare. So I'll get bored of them very quickly. So I'm trying to convince the missus that I won't get bored of my 1 litre Ateca, but I'm already bored of it.
I got bored of it as soon as you said it.
I fell asleep when I test drove it. That's how terrible it was. Things you have to do for a family. But so about approximately sort of 22 cars, about 21, 22 cars. Yeah, in my time driving.
And what was your first car?
Citroen AX. It was
GT?
awful. No. So the funny story with that is I couldn't afford the GT because obviously I was a little teenager with spots all over my face. So I bought the car, drove it around for a bit, and I thought, I know, I'm going to go to a scrapyard and make it look like a GT.
Nice.
I like your style.
Yeah. So I kind of bought the old, was it 3-spoke alloys with 3
three lugs in them, didn't
3
they?
lugs.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And then what else did I do? I think I changed the steering wheel because I think the steering wheel was different in them as well.
Was, yeah.
So I changed that over, and I say it was all done from a scrapyard. Sort of walking out with tail light clusters under mid coat, things like that as you do.
You're a proper cool.
Oh yeah. So it was a scrapyard in Northampton, and it's still there now, believe it or not. But obviously these days they get you to shop and pay over a counter.
Yeah.
We found a little gap in a fence that we could climb on top of about 3 cars and just drop it over the edge near the boot of where we parked. So it was fantastic to sort of acquire some bits. But yes, it wasn't the GT, but I made it look like the GT, and
nice.
I've got a habit of doing that with cars.
Yeah, no. Back in the day, I did a Peugeot 205, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I think that was a 1.1 litre.
Yours was an XS, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
Right,
as basic as they come, although it did have a really cool sunroof that used to add like an air.
It had an air suction thing, so when you pulled it across and you closed it, you just heard this kind of Star Trek.
It was mad.
And that's how you knew it sealed properly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go.
But that was cool. But we went to a couple of scrapyards to get the GTI.
You had the 1.6 wheels because it was the.
No, I had the 1.9s.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
100% 1.9s, and I'd got the front bumper as well. Remember?
Yes.
And I stuck it on with cable ties. That's proper redneck as well.
That is
It was just
absolutely,
like
Who
I
needs
couldn't, I
bolts?
couldn't get my drill in there to drill it all in properly, and I was like, it's cable tie. It's fine.
Yeah.
It weighs next to nothing.
Yeah.
So in terms of his car list, because he's very graciously sent it over to us, should we pop it up on the?
Yeah,
video
no, I'll
so we
put
can
it
go
there.
through it?
Yeah, I'll put it there. It's on my phone if you want to go through it. But I must admit, your car list doesn't really get cool until much later on in your life.
Yeah,
No, we
yeah.
had a look
And
through it, and it's kind of
random.
you say meh a lot through it.
Yeah, there is a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a lot of that.
But-
And then there's this odd hairdresser's car in the middle that I don't know why I did that.
In fact, I'm gonna grab the list.
So I had that car for 6 weeks. That's how rubbish it was.
I'm gonna call some out actually.
And got rid of it.
I've got it in there.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Here we go.
What's your
is
phone?
gonna be
Don't
awful.
affect the mic. Even more trouble than we had with it.
Where was it?
Civic sounds cool.
Oh, the Civic. Yeah, I loved that car, to be fair. But the Accord was nicer. It was just a nicer all-round
That was a good car. My dad had one of those.
Yeah, really nice to drive. And it was really clever as well. The infotainment system in it, for a car of that age, was actually really quite advanced. Where you could press a button and say, "Find me a Chinese restaurant," and it would.
Oh, really?
It was brilliant, absolutely fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really
That'd be your
advanced for its
perfect
year.
car, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I was all over it.
Straight away, anyway.
Find me a McDonald's. I need to slim up a bit.
The Antara, that's the electric one, isn't it?
No, that was a 2-litre diesel. That one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2-litre diesel.
Which one am I thinking then? Their first electric car. They brought it out about 10 years ago. It was a really sleek looking thing.
Oh, that Ampera.
Ampera. That's it. I
yeah.
know it began with A.
Yeah, that was a great looking car, to
Yeah,
be fair.
really
And was it Chevrolet did their own version called
Yes.
the Volt?
That's
The
it.
Chevy Volt, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly the same car, just a different badge on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mark III Vauxhall Astra. Not a GSI or anything like that?
No, it was just a terrible 1.4.
You didn't pimp it up at all?
No, do you know what? I didn't with that one, weirdly. Did I? Yes, I did. I went to Halfords and bought new alloys for it, but I had to buy the alloys that were the same size as the tyres because I couldn't afford the tyres. And then do you remember in Halfords and things, they used to sell them, funky little like windscreen washer jets that had LED bulbs on
Yeah.
and things like
Yeah.
I put them on it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then it got sold to like an 80-year-old, but he kept them.
Did he?
Yeah, he kept them
Probably
on there.
couldn't
Yeah,
see
I saw the car a couple of years. Yeah, probably right. He's
There's
too
an
low
8-year-old
light.
driving around like that with Frank Sinatra on.
Yeah, big
neon
rings
jet.
a lot on here.
You
That's
seem
it.
to have an affiliation with Hyundai, which I'm going to give you a fist bump because I've got a Hyundai sat outside.
Oh, lovely, perfect.
i10, i20, i20.
Yeah, so the reason I got a Hyundai was because the garage was literally 2 seconds down the road, and I thought, you know what, that's going to be handy for servicing and things like that because I could literally walk home. So it was fantastic.
You're lazy, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Definitely.
Definitely. No, not for that distance. But yeah, the i10, that was a good little go-kart. And then the i20, the first one I had was... it was just weak under power. It was a little 1.2, but the engine just screamed on it, and you didn't really get any speed out of it. But again, it was just a handy car just to go to and from work. I didn't want anything special because I had the Mustang at home. So purely.
Now it makes more sense.
Yeah.
You've had your run around.
Yeah.
Your everyday commute.
Yeah,
A
just
to B,
cheap.
And then you've got your toy in the garage. So
Yeah, precisely.
I'm
Yeah.
going to say the mess that I said to dull.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
There's reasoning
It was,
behind
it was unjustified. Yeah, it was unjustified. So,
Well, the thing is, I mean, I've got a car, a Mustang I had a Mustang to look after, obviously. So I used to like washing cars and cleaning them when I was younger, but I just can't be bothered these days.
Yeah.
So obviously doing one is great, but then the other one sat on the drive the daily. I'm like, nah, I'll just leave that as is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
And then my second i20, that was jinxed, I swear it was. It had some sort of demon in it or something because I kept having problems with that, as in I drove into a hospital car park pillar and needed a new driver's door. And then somebody...
They come out of nowhere then.
I know, do you know what? It was just 1 minute it was there and 1 minute it was like, where'd that come from? It's just there. And then So that car had 3 doors in my ownership, 3 driver's doors.
Was it like the in-betweeners?
Yeah,
They got a red door.
Yeah, so the first one was the hospital car park, and then the second one, somebody keyed it. I don't know why, but the same door, driver's door. And then the third one was some drunk guy just decided to reverse out of a space and then straight into the same door.
Oh.
So that car had 3 new doors. So that's the newest part of the car, yeah. So after that, I thought, you know what, I might get rid of this. I don't want anything to do with it anymore.
Before we move away from your car list,
Yeah.
could you tell us more about your Mustang?
Yeah, so...
What was the process of getting the Mustang, going from like your basic cars you had to then taking a leap to get in something that's way cooler than you've ever had before?
Yeah, so that was a holiday in the States that did that.
Oh,
so hired one.
Right.
So it was the original one I hired, so that was back in 2008. That was a 05 to 10 model, the first of the S197s, and I thought, you know, we had that and it was just phenomenal. It was a V6, but I thought, this is just, I need this car.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely loved it.
That's the first shape where Mustang went back to their roots and it looked cool again.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. Because they lost it for a while, didn't they? With the one before that.
Yeah.
But then, they kind of went back to their roots, made this big, bulky American muscle car, and I thought, I need one of these in my life, you know. And that was it. Second time I went back in 2010, hired another one, but it was the 10 to 15 model, so they slightly upgraded one. And again, that was just stunning, absolutely stunning. So when I got home, it took me 4 years, I think, to find the right one. And that was just trawling through pictures on eBay. But one of the worst things with them is, you know, you'd see the picture of it all looking nice and shiny on the outside, then you'll see the images of the inside, and people have had their keys in the centre console, all the plastics were scratched. So it took literally 4 years to find one that hadn't got a marked interior. And then finally found one up in Sheffield way. So, that was it.
God, but that was a fun drive back.
Oh, it's gorgeous, absolutely. I remember turning up at the dealerships, it was all like classic cars and stuff, and I couldn't see this Mustang. So, went inside, the guy come out and he said, oh, they're just going to bring it from around the back. And then I heard it. So I didn't see it first, I heard it first, and I thought, that's phenomenal, I need it. Yeah. And there was no question, I bought it at that point, you know, without even test driving it, it was mine. And then, took it home, and that was it.
Brilliant.
Great drive back down the M1. Beautiful.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah, loved it.
So, out of all the cars you've owned, the 22,
Yes.
excluding the Mustang, if you could still own one now, what would it be?
I think the Honda Accord. Yeah.
Okay.
The Type S. Yeah. It was a great car. Absolutely loved it. Comfortable, fast. It was just all rounder a great car. Yeah, it was a really good car they built. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that the same one Tommy wanted to keep?
Mm,
The Accord.
no, I don't think it was an Accord, was it?
Integra.
Integra.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Tommy
right.
wanted. Our friend Tom had a DC5 Integra.
Yeah.
And that's the one that he, again, a friend I've known for many, many years. He bought it as his dream car,
Yeah,
but had
yeah.
to sell it for certain reasons.
Yeah.
And it was the one that got away. And
Right.
he kind of said he's got unfinished business with that car.
Yeah, of
So
course.
if he could get it back and finish his journey with that car,
Yeah.
then he would.
Definitely, yeah.
So
it was one of them that, you know, I sort of let it go, and then thought, why did I do that? Because there was nothing wrong with it. You know, I just let it go. Miss it.
Yeah, I normally keep mine for about 2 or 3 years, and then I get bored of them, and then get something else that's way worse than I just got rid of.
but that's normally 2-3 years of continual driving,
I
isn't
say,
it?
looking at my list, you can see that's what I did. It's like, why did I get rid of that? It was a great car. Yeah, it was a good all-rounder.
So if you could do anything differently in your car journey from where you started to where you are now,
Yeah.
would you do anything different?
I probably would think more before I traded something in for something more boring. Most definitely.
While we're on
What am I about to do?
while we're on that subject, you come with us when we picked Dave's truck up, didn't you?
Yes.
Dave was like, "Oh, we're going to pick up the truck on Saturday. Do you want to come with us?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And he's like, "Oh, Wayne's coming. He's going to drive." So I'm thinking, "Oh, wicked, we're get to go in a Mustang." And then he rocked up and he had this like, I don't even know what it was. It was like a Kia
can't
or
remember
something.
what car it had. What was that? Was it a little-
It wasn't the Picanto.
Oh, I did have,
Yeah, it
I did
was.
have the Picanto.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It was in that.
Picanto ST.
Yeah. What was that? Was it a
GT line?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a quality car, and I probably kept that for 3 months. And and again, the reason behind that is because I went and test drove one. It was a brand new one, and I thought, this is nice. You know, I mean, yes, I'm a tall chap, driving position comfortable, plenty of legroom, things like that. So I thought, well, I'm not going to buy that one because he's not going to sell it to me for the money that I've got.
Yeah.
So I went online and bought one, about a year old, so it was a second hand, no, probably about 2 years old actually. So I went and picked it up, and I was driving home, and I said to the missus, I said, this doesn't feel right. I feel really hemmed in, and I don't feel like I've got enough legroom. So after faffing around and sort of thinking something's not right here, we went back to the dealership. Long story short, it transpires that between that model and the brand new one, they'd actually adjusted the seat position, and they changed it from like a 4-seater to a 5-seater car or something like that, which meant that
more legroom in the back.
Yes, more legroom in the back,
right.
less in the front. So I thought, well, this isn't any good. So we ended up swapping cars for a bit, and then I sold it. Well, I can't do that.
Brilliant.
That's another one gone.
Another one off the
In
list.
the past.
Right, where did this love of cars start from?
Max Power Days, we briefly spoke about that. So
Yeah.
as a teenager, just seeing all the cars whizzing around the estate, and it was all like your Mark II Novas and stuff like that, Astras and Cavaliers. Yeah, and I just thought, yeah, this is what I want. I just love cars as of that point.
Yeah.
From a teenager. So as soon as I was old enough, that was it. Straight down the getting the driving lessons done, and I thought I need to buy something.
Did it come from your father being into cars, or your parents,
No.
or anything like that? Because
Not at all.
we've discussed this.
Yeah.
Like with Russell, it was his dad was a car guy.
Yeah.
A couple of our other guests, their dads have been into cars. I think so far it's me. My parents couldn't give a monkeys about cars.
Yeah.
But ever since I could walk, talk, didn't like football, it was
Yeah.
all about cars.
Yeah.
And it seems that thing that's just triggered the love for cars.
Yeah, definitely.
Is the same within you.
Exactly that.
It's you can't pinpoint where it's come from.
No.
You just know as far back as you can go, it was always about four wheels.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I was old enough, I started on 2 wheels. just because I couldn't obviously drive.
Yeah.
So 16 years old, I had a little scooter, crashed that, broke my leg. So I thought, okay, maybe I need 4 wheels. So
Or stabilisers.
yeah, exactly, stabilisers. Yeah. So then that was it. Growing up as a kid, as a teenager, just. Same for you. My parents weren't into cars. None of them were. My dad wasn't. My mum certainly wasn't. So it was a thing that sort of developed within me. And
Yeah.
the same, I don't like football, so I like motor racing, motorsports, things like
Yeah.
that more. So yeah, anything with 4 wheels is kind of what got me into it.
Yeah,
Sure.
it was the same as when my dad's always used to get company cars. If ever he used to travel for business, his work used to provide him a company car.
Right.
So every other week he'd bring a car home,
Mm-hmm.
and one day he'd bring home this is how far back we're going, Merc 190.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
he'd have a Vauxhall Calibra 2 litre, only an 8-valve engine.
Right, yeah.
But I'd be the first one out there when he got, Dad, can I have the keys? Can I go and sit in it?
Yeah.
Can I see how loud the stereo goes? Can
Yeah.
I rev the engine or do whatever? So it was that, again, I still can't pinpoint where it came from, but
No.
I'm just fucking obsessed by the things.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, I've got some memories as a child, sort of under 10 years old, of this guy that I don't think he was a neighbour, but he used to park a brand new Audi at the time outside the front of our house, and all us kids in the street were obsessed with this brand new shiny car because
Yeah.
everyone else had rust buckets with holes in and 3 wheels, whereas this guy had this brand new Audi that he just used to
It was
park
like an
there.
Audi 100 or something.
Something like that. I can't remember the model, but it was around the sort of 1992 kind of era, somewhere around about that point. Yeah, but I remember it big burgundy colour, But yeah, all us kids were obsessed with it. So
Yeah.
even then, at that age, I was kind of thinking cars. It was in
Yeah.
my blood,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's definitely either is or it isn't.
It's something that's in you,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so if you was to sell your cars now, what would you get next?
Oh, that's a difficult question. What would I
So
go for?
maybe we'll do it in 2 phases then.
Yeah.
The Ateca, and
I'll give that away.
if you had to sell the Ram, what in your head would be the suitable replacement for your Ram?
Something. So I would either go for a 3500 Julie Ram, something like that. The missus just gets a massive headache every time I mention that. Because the R1 don't fit on the drive as it is.
So yeah, add another set of wheels.
I know,
on
exactly.
that.
I'm just going to get an extra set of wheels. Why not?
Super.
Or something like it'll definitely be another American truck. I've fallen in love with trucks now. No matter whether it's an older kind of thing or a new thing.
It's definitely a new
Sierra,
phase, this, isn't
GMC
it?
Yukon,
Trucks.
something like massively. Yeah, I don't think I could actually go back to a American sports car.
Right.
And if I did, it would be second to a pickup.
Yeah.
If I had the space for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, pickups are definitely in my blood now. Yeah.
I think I've always said I've got this infatuation at the minute because we've been to America a lot of times, me and my wife, and we love pickup, or I love pickup trucks. She thinks they're, oh, that's nice. But I've got a massive infatuation with like Escalades and Yukons, and we watch a lot of American spy programs and stuff. And there's what is it, like an Escalade and stuff like that. Just a fucking great
just
thing.
Massive.
Just so it outshines the Range Rovers that you see countless amounts on the road.
Yeah, they're double the size.
Yeah, double the size, double the width, double the noise. They just look so cool.
An Escalade, we hired one of them in Canada. We went there a couple of years ago, so it was after COVID. And obviously we'd been to the States and hired cars there before. So I thought, when we go to Canada, let's have a look and see what we can hire. And there was a lot of boring stuff, on there. And then they had this Escalade on an offer to hire. So it was like free insurance. No, not free insurance, but the insurance was like half the price. So it was cheaper to hire the Escalade than it was to hire just a normal boring kind of car. So we thought, let's do that.
Yeah.
Unbeknown to us, that the Canadians actually like smaller cars, so all their parking spaces were a lot smaller than in the States.
No, so it caused more hassle than
couldn't fit in any multi-storey car park. I couldn't park it anywhere. It wouldn't go through McDonald's drive-through. It was just like, we've massively fucked up here. Yeah. So we had this giant car that we couldn't really do a lot with.
I think the one time I've been in an Escalade, I was in New York and we were going back to the airport, me and a couple of friends, and we got the hotel arranged a car to take us back to the airport.
Yeah.
And it was a 7-seater Escalade.
Yeah.
But it was a petrol version.
Yeah.
And my immediate thought was, I said to the driver, is this a V8? And he was like, yeah, it's a V8. How the fuck do you insure afford petrol to run a V8 as a cab?
Oh, yeah.
But secondly, the noise and the comfort, and it was just
I must admit,
so luxurious.
Yeah, the comfort in an Escalade is second to none.
It's phenomenal.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So when we make it, mate,
I'll
have an Escalade.
Absolutely.
You don't want a 300
No, I'll have an
Honestly,
Escalade.
them parked out front. For sure.
Next question?
Yeah, would you ever own an electric car?
No.
It's literally either no. Or, hear me out.
If it got to the point where they were developing the technology that far, probably the most I would go is a hybrid, a plug-in hybrid.
Yeah.
Because I could probably get to work and back on a charge, and then you've still got an engine and a fuel tank to get you to Cornwall, something like that, you know.
Yeah. So have you actually ever been in an electric car?
Yeah, I have.
So you've experienced it because I don't think anything is as quick as an electric car off the mark.
No, they are hot off the mark. They really are quick. Yeah, the torque is unbelievable.
What have you been in?
So this was a Mercedes. I can't remember, but it was a hire car that they lent me. No, I'll tell you what. No, that was a hybrid. It was a Vauxhall Mocha, full electric Vauxhall Mocha, when my previous Mocha went in for repair, and that was full electric. And obviously no way of charging it at home apart from the 13 amp socket.
Yeah.
So the dealer set it up so it was in eco mode. I turned all that off. I'm not doing all
Good
that.
lad.
I'm turning that off. Yeah, so that was full electric, but like we all know, the infrastructure's not out there.
No.
And, when you see them miles going down a lot quicker than you expect, you sort of think, it's just not ready yet.
It gives you anxiety, doesn't it?
Yeah. You never get anxiety in a petrol car, do you? Because you always know you can get petrol.
Yeah.
I was
jerry can.
You haven't had practice cars.
Yeah, I was just frightened driving this thing because I thought, when's it going to run out of power?
Yeah.
You know. So no to electric for me.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You should have that on the door, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no electric.
No electric car.
No electric cars.
Yeah, not happening.
I don't think we've had one yet, have we?
Electric? No, we haven't had one yet.
Huh?
Didn't you have an hour about it?
No, I like the idea of. What would I have one?
Yeah.
I like the idea of when they first come out. I like the idea, like the Tesla. I thought they were amazing, and then I went in one, and it would make me feel really, really ill.
I was going to say, have you been in one? They're awful.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't mind it, but I wouldn't have one. If you was to give me one, I would rather sell it and buy 2 or 3 old pieces of shit they're going to break down.
With engines.
Yeah, with engines.
I think I said yes, didn't I?
That's one of you.
Yeah, I said yes, I would own one. Only because of the experience. I went to America last year for work because our headquarters is in America. And I'll repeat it very quickly, but one of the guests staying at our hotel had a Tesla Plaid.
Yeah.
And I got chatting to him just because I was admiring his car. And he was very gracious that he took us out for a spin in his Plaid.
Yeah.
He let it warm the batteries up, put it in whatever they call it, ludicrous mode or hyperspace mode. And point to point, I've been in some fast cars. There was nothing like this.
Right.
It was just, I can't put into words how quick that thing is.
Yeah.
And if that's the future, I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Didn't they race the Model X or something against a Challenger and it just left it standing?
Ate it alive.
Yeah, it did it? Yeah. Just so
that was a Hellcat
phenomenally
as well,
quick.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a Hellcat, just left it. I
Yeah,
mean,
just...
that shocked me.
I think we've said this before, that there's a couple of like drag strips in America where they've banned electric cars being on it, because they're just
the plan is banned in America because people were putting slick tyres on them, and
Really?
Yeah, just to get a little bit more grip.
Right.
And the guy was telling me some of them can do 8 second quarters stock out of the factory just with a little bit of grippy tyres. It's too fast.
Yeah.
It is literally too fast.
Yeah.
But on that point, it's when you see the speedo just continually rise with no brake.
Yeah,
I mean, 0 to 55.
Yeah.
Because that's how fast we went.
Yeah, of course.
We
like to promote legal driving here.
We do. It's unbelievable how quick something shouldn't go that fast, and you can buy it for $100,000.
Yeah.
It's.
And the thing is, with all-wheel driving as well, you're getting that power straight on the tarmac straight away, aren't you? You know, there's going to be no let up in it.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. So I'm.
You're for it.
I'm for it. Once the country is sorted out for it.
How long do you think that's going to be before the country's sorted out?
20 years.
Yeah, it's going to be
20, 30 years.
I think the biggest reason I'm not for it is because of the sound. You can't beat a V8 sound.
Or a
I know they put speakers on them now, and I did send you a video the other day.
Nowhere near as
No, the Hyundai Iconic N, the Iconic 5N. No, the Hyundai one, the big boxy one.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
I
like that.
I've seen a few on the
soft
road.
spot for that,
I like it a lot.
I mean, that's a big car.
But they put an amplified. You've got what's the word I'm looking for? Synthesized gearing.
Yeah.
So it'll only rev to a certain point, and then you change gear, where it's all linear, but you get the noise through it.
Yeah, you
but
get the experience.
It sounds like Gran Turismo 1. Back on the old PlayStation. It doesn't sound very good.
No,
but
that's
for
right.
the driving experience, and again, someone like Chris Harris, who I look at as a scaled down version of God,
Yeah.
if he rates them, then they're good enough for me.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So while we're on the subject, what's the fastest you've been in a car?
Well, driving wise, just the fastest ever.
Driver, passenger, on private road or on a track. Anyway, just what's the fastest you've seen a speedo?
I won't say I've done 120 in the Mustang.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was still going, and I got scared at that point because it was getting a bit light on the front. It was getting a bit light on the front, yeah. But that was in the early days of owning it on a straight road, and I thought, how fast does this go?
Yeah.
How fast is it going? How quickly does it get there? That's probably the fastest, yeah. But again, I mean, that was on sport suspension as well, so it should have stuck to the road. But yeah, the front of that car was getting a little bit light for me.
Yeah, because I often see videos online, and it's 9 times out of 10 it's a Mustang.
Yeah.
And they're coming out obviously at some sort of car meet, and as they're coming out the car park, they put their foot down to show off, and they lose it. And there's whatever lamp, there could be a 2-mile strip, and there's one lamppost. The Mustang's hitting that one lamppost every single time.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Have they got quite a primitive diff in them or something? They got an open diff in the back, or
no? It's I don't know. It's just people just can't drive.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I did get a scare in it once, and it was on a damp M1 motorway, and I was doing legal speed limit, and that's honest truth. But then someone in an Audi or something was going to go for an undertake, so doing about sort of 65, because I was following traffic as well. I thought, I'm not having this, so I gunned it. And it dropped down gear, and the back end started fishtailing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's the only time that car has scared me. So I had a big respect for it after that.
Okay.
Massive respect after that.
Have you had any speeding tickets?
Only one in my 30 years driving. Yeah, and that was just I was tired. Did 40 and a 30, and that was it.
So that's it. So
done.
Going on what we're doing, we've got a points tally of how fast over the speed limit were you going to get caught.
Yeah.
So you're 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So
you're 30 mile an hour.
That's a good one.
I'm 29.6 miles an hour over.
Barry's still second though.
Oh right, okay. What was yours?
Who was first?
You.
Did Dave? It wasn't Dave, was
Dave
it?
or Tommy?
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you might.
Yeah, we'll have to check the figures, but I'm second. I don't think I'm going to get beaten for points.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah,
How many points have you had altogether? altogether?
That was 3. Only 3. Yeah.
So that's it, just 3 points.
Making a note of that. Yeah, just 3 points. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, 3 points. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, Barry's on 36.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, the copper was really good about it as well. It was the end of his shift, and he was just saying, "Look, do you know what? If it wasn't for this gun, I would have just give you a tick off. I was just tired from being up at work early."
Oh, really?
But the copper was really fair. I couldn't fault him. I said, "Look, I know you got to do so." Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll take
I got done for doing 73 on the motorway. So
Oh, really?
for 3 miles over. And I don't think I told this story before.
Right.
But so basically what it was, I was coming back from Cumbria, so I was right up north.
Yeah.
And I got done on this bridge. As I'm coming down the motorway, I could see the bridge and I see it. And I was like, it couldn't have got me 3 miles over.
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks later, I got the thing through the door. And it come through 3 miles over the speed limit. So I was like, should I sort of like protest this? Whatever, not protest.
Contest
Yeah,
this.
you
For
could
me and my
protest.
English. So at the time, one of our managers used to be a copper.
Yeah.
And so I said to him, I was like, is it worth me sort of, putting a thing on this? And he was like, to be honest with you, you can. He said, but you have to go all the way up there to do it. And he said, but then if you lose, you can get up to £1,000 fine. So
That's
I'm like
right.
weighing it up, and I'm like, oh fuck it. And he was
Yeah,
like,
you do it.
he was like, to be honest with you, he said, you're really unlucky there. He said, what colour car have you got? And I was like, what difference does that make? He was like, what colour car you got? I was like, red. And he was like, they were playing snooker. And I'm like, what? And he was like,
Oh, the bastard.
he said they get.
Your dad? You're going to have stone words with him.
He said they get bored.
No.
So what they do is they play snooker. So they're sat there on the bridge, and it'd be like, get a red car, and then you can get a colour.
Really?
And they do
We've
that.
all got my silver cars now.
I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's what they do to pass the time. Yeah.
That's
Right,
unbelievable.
so next question is going to get your brain ticking.
Uh-oh.
Money, no object. And you had to pick
Yeah.
5 cars
5 cars, yeah.
for your dream garage.
Yeah.
You've made it in life,
Yeah.
and you're going out to buy your 5 dream cars.
Yeah.
Please tell us what they are.
One of them would be a Trans Am T-top, the Night Rider car.
Okay.
Classic, yeah. Because again,
All kitted out with
all
the
kitted
light.
out, everything, yeah. And I want the talking thing.
Do you?
All that, yeah. I love that, yeah. I know that, even if it just told me to just shut up now and again.
Where
I'll
the
still
local
take it.
Chinese is. It's a Honda Accord.
Remember the Honda
We're going there, I think, Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I love that. What else would I go for? Top 5 cars. Yeah, a Ram 3500 Julie would have to be in there.
Okay.
Brand spanking new. Yeah, that'd have to be in. I'd probably like. I'm just trying to think what I'd go for. I wrote a list out, didn't I? What was on my list that I wrote?
It's on there.
Because I had a good old think about it, and I thought, let's have a look. Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
Ah, yes.
That was
Was it 79, was it?
Yeah.
I think I wrote.
Oh, there you go. So you've put a mint low mileage S197 Mustang.
Yeah, so I have that as like a
2015,
daily. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And then a Bluesmobile 97.
Oh, you got the
Monaco.
Bluesmobile car? Yeah.
Yeah,
I want
so
there's one knocking around somewhere. I keep seeing it with the speaker on the top and everything.
Yeah, I have seen that. As
Yeah,
well,
I've seen it knocking around, yeah. Was it a Dodge something or other, isn't it?
It's called a Dodge Monaco.
Dodge Monaco, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I'd have one of them in my collection. Yeah, so the Mustang, the Dodge Monaco, Cadillac Coupe de Ville, Ram 3500 Julie, and...
I like the way you put mint. It has to be mint.
It could be mint. Yeah, that's my OCD. I'll be like, no, it's got to be mint. If there's any that still
My
exist out
brother
there.
had a Coupe de Ville. It was
Yeah.
lovely, absolutely huge. It's like fucking.
That's like a boat.
It's like 22 foot or something with like an 8-litre V8 engine in it. It was, it was insane.
Yeah,
8.2,
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think.
And they don't go very fast either, do they?
No, not
But,
at all.
but they're probably 5th car out of that collection. They'll probably be a Challenger Hellcat. I'd have to
nice.
have one just to own, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
all American.
This is what we had the other day, going up and down the airstrip. It was insane.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
I'd definitely own
beautiful.
one of those, yeah. Yeah, so very American influenced, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, without a
Brilliant.
doubt.
So what's the most embarrassing thing, modification wise, considering you're from our era, Max Power era?
You
What's
did
the most?
mention something earlier with the little LED
I
lights.
want to see if it can be beaten though. What's the most
What did I
embarrassing
do?
thing you've done to a car?
So yeah, definitely those LED things. They just
Neon
look
washer- neon
ridiculous.
washers.
Yeah, they just look ridiculous. It was probably my Mark II Astra that I owned. I wasn't happy with the door sills being black, so I went down Halfords and I bought some like red sticky tape and I went round it and put a red line round it to try and make it look a bit more sporty.
Okay.
It looks ridiculous.
I mean, that's a fairly subtle embarrassing
It is a
thing.
fairly-
'Cause
definitely
you
subtly
could go to
embarrassing.
Halfords and just buy strips of any colour,
Just
really,
think,
couldn't
at
you?
some point in that car's history, somebody thought, why has he stuck that on? And they had to take it off, and he left all the glue on it. So he's like fucking
Scraping it off.
cursing you.
Another thing is, do you remember you used to go into, the vehicle centres and buy like the exhaust tips that you could just screw onto any exhaust? Yeah, so that went on the back of my Mark III Astra as well. So that went on there. It looks stupid.
Classy.
Did you ever have a Pico Big Bore 4 on any of your cars?
No, I didn't. Funny
You didn't?
enough, no.
Oh,
No, I didn't.
Earlier on, you mentioned that you bought some wheels from Halfords. Were they like really big 15-inch wheels or bigger?
No, they were like 14-inch. That's all I had on the car.
14s.
They might have been 13s actually. I'm
This is
trying
an
to
ongoing
remember.
thing. We have to try and get really big 15-inch wheels.
Yeah, I said in one of my cars, it was in our
Really
first
big
episode,
15s.
thumping big 15s, which nowadays 15s are
I get what you're saying.
absolutely
like-
tiny,
they're
but
like small,
at the time,
At the time they were big, weren't they?
They were big on the cars because I think I put it on a Ford Orion and it came with 13-inch steels.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
putting thumping big 15s on it, you felt like a bit of a
I
lad.
remember when like 17-inch wheels were a thing, and it was, to me they were just like, they are massive.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they were the biggest things I've ever seen on a car, and then now like 22, 23.
Yeah. I mean, you go to Halfords and see them all lined up on the wall, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
your different mates, you know, was it Fox? I think that's what I put on the
Yeah,
Astra.
Fox,
Wolf race was a
Wolf
big one.
race.
Race, that's
I
another
had a
one.
set of Wolf race.
BBS.
TSW, BBS. I think BBSs were a little bit out of
Halfords.
price range.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
there
probably.
was Team Dynamics as well, but they were called 100.
Yeah,
they
that's
were called
right.
100 plus.
Yeah.
What was it? TSWs? I remember that.
TSWs.
They were always like 3 spokes, 5
Yeah,
spokes.
yeah.
and
Yeah,
stuff like
Venoms,
that.
TSW Venoms.
Yeah, that's right. yeah.
Greatest wheel on the planet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure these wheels I put on the Astra were 13s because I remember going to the tyre garage. So I picked the wheels up
Really
from
big
Halfords.
13-inch.
Really, they were massive.
Some little kid's
Rubber like that. Yeah, basically. Yeah. And I remember going to the tyre garage and saying, I've got some alloys to put on the car. And he said, what tyres are you putting on? I went, no, the tyres that are on there. Oh, he says, okay, right. So
Yeah.
he stuck them on there. Yeah, it made it look better-ish.
Years ago, I had a Beetle, and I bought it off my brother, and it had some like. To be honest with you, now they were really nice wheels, and I didn't like them for some reason. They were like Porsche replicas.
Yeah.
You know, like black in the middle, and then they're chrome around the outside,
Yeah.
and then they're all studded.
Yeah.
And I got rid of them and put some chrome MP wheels. Remember?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
MP wheels, yeah, I remember them,
yeah.
And I put them on it. But I got them for Christmas. I think my mum and dad bought me them for Christmas. But then I had to wait like 6 months to save up for the money for the tyres because the tyres are so expensive. But
Yeah.
I was only like 17 at the time. So.
That's the thing when you're younger, you do all that sort of stuff, don't you?
Oh,
and
we've
you
done
don't
some
realise it's going to look
hideous
stupid
things.
to everybody
Yeah.
else. You're like, no, that car looks cool. I'll put some red stickers around it. It's brilliant.
Right, you've probably said this in your top 5 cars,
Yes.
but what is your favourite movie stroke TV car?
Trans Am T-top, Night
Trans
Rider.
Am.
It's got
Okay.
to be a Night Rider car. Yeah, definitely.
Would you buy
I'm
the
all
leather
over that.
jacket as well?
I've got one.
Have you?
Would you have the mullet?
Oh,
and
definitely.
the shirt
definitely.
open to here?
Yeah, I've already got the chest hair. That's already there.
What was it
so I'll
called?
definitely have that. The Hoff.
The
Hoff.
Hoff.
Yeah,
David
yeah.
Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Michael Knight.
Michael
Yeah,
Knight.
Michael Knight. That's right. Yeah.
Would
yeah.
you buy the accompanying lorry so you could then drive it into the back?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You've got to do that. Yeah, with like your staff.
And
in
have,
there.
have your miles in there.
Yeah, that's it. Doing all his
doing
stuff.
all his thing.
I'll probably put Dave in there.
It'd be great, wouldn't
If
it?
you go, I'll stick
Yeah,
Dave in
really
there. There you go.
Right, I'm
Yeah.
going to ask one more,
Yeah.
and then we're going to get on to an event that you've done with one of our previous guests, Dave.
Yeah.
So, what is your best movie car chase?
Oh, it's got to be.
And there's a
That's
lot.
a good question. There is a lot.
Yeah, this gets our brain ticking because sometimes you think,
Well, there's been a couple of answers that I wouldn't have even thought of. to be
No.
honest with you.
your brother said one that was incredibly
Yeah,
good.
American Graffiti, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
it was, by the way. Remember the other day
Yeah,
we couldn't remember. It was
Yeah.
American Graffiti.
I think one of my favourites would probably be like the end of the Blues Brothers movie, the first one. You know,
Okay.
where they do that massive chase across
Yeah.
America. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, that was just bonkers and stupid.
I
But
think
that's why I like
That's
it.
still rated as the highest smashing up
It is.
of cars in one movie.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact figure, but they
It's
ruined
insane.
so many
Yeah.
cop cars, didn't they?
It's
yeah.
the same as like the Dukes of Hazzard. The amount of cars that they
40
destroy.
odd, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
To the point where they're worth so much money now because they pretty much destroyed them all.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely.
10% of the population.
Yeah. Gone, just wiped out within one
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely the Blues Brothers chase. Yeah, that was a good one.
But then, ever since we've started asking this question on this podcast, it does get the old grey matter tick. Now, I do 1,000 miles a week sometimes for work, and it sometimes think, what is the best car chase? And I remember, not many people have remembered this. There was not long after Smokey and the Bandit, there was a film called Hooper
Right,
with
yeah.
Burt Reynolds where
Yeah.
he played a stuntman. And the amount of cars and everything that he smashed up in that, and he had a Trans Am in there, but it was a red one.
Yeah.
And it's just things like that. It just gets the old grey matter ticking.
Definitely,
and there's so many other.
There's so many classic movies where car chases were the thing. You know?
And even one that's quite a recent one, which you said, Baby Driver.
Baby Driver, the beginning.
The opening scene to that is stunning.
That takes some
that's
beat.
a good-
It's good. To be honest with you, I haven't seen Ronin, like, because we always, I said, and you said, I think Ronin. Is the best movie chase in movies.
Yeah.
I'd have to sit down and watch both of them now to say which one, because that beginning
which one you
bit
preferred,
is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's filmed as well. It's not just a great car chase, it's filmed perfect.
Yeah,
as well.
definitely, yeah. And I think that's what a lot of it is as well, is the angles and everything, you know,
It's the way they do
it's
it.
filmed, the way it's made. It's
Yeah.
definitely a director's...
I think they have to keep in. There's one thing that fucks me off in them. It's when they change gears 7,000 times, but they've only gone from there to over there.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah, they've gone right,
I think continuity in car chases, to nerds like we all are here, I think it plays a massive part, doesn't it?
Definitely, yeah, without that.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Yeah.
So shall we go to the next question?
Yeah, you've done a rather envious road trip that Russ and I, it's been on our bucket list with Chris as well. It's, I'm sorry, mate. You need to come and sit here. You've done Route 66 with Dave.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about it, please?
Probably I'm going to say it's definitely the best holiday I've ever had, bar none. And
Okay.
you know, obviously that's with the missus and stuff like that. You know, Route 66 just tops it. But it wasn't just about the route as well as the people we were with, because obviously I was with Dave, and then we had 3 other couples as well.
Yeah.
We had walkie-talkies, so I've never laughed so much in my life hearing some of the stuff over these walkie-talkies. It was phenomenal. I mean, the idea behind it was obviously so if one of us got lost, we could say, right, we pulled up at the lights here, and near Burger King on the left. But it just turned into a comedy show. It was fantastic.
So how many of you went, and how many cars did you have between you?
So there was 8 of us that went.
Okay.
So me and Dave shared a car. A couple of other friends of ours shared a car. Then we had 2 couples that went, and obviously they went together as well. So we had 4 cars.
4 cars.
Yeah.
All Mustangs?
No, so Dave and I had the Mustang. And at the time, weirdly, you couldn't rent a V8, so it had to be the 2.3
V6.
EcoBoost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
wow.
but we were pleasantly surprised by that engine, and it suited
He
the
didn't
car.
say that, did they?
No, he
Keep
didn't.
that quiet. No,
He made it out he's a man's man, didn't he?
But we both had Mustangs at the time, so we both wanted to try the new Mustang because neither of us had driven it before.
Yeah.
But we were so surprised by that engine, and the turbo on it cut in so early that it had the power there, even low down. You could do burnouts in it, which we did.
Brilliant.
So yeah, you could do that. So another car that was with us was the new Camaro at the time.
Nice.
In 2017 this was. Friends of ours, Andy and Mike, they hired that. But they hired a V8. They paid and got the V8 version, and they got a stonking deal on it, to be honest. They knocked them down from like $6,000 to like $3,000 or something, literally half the price.
Nice.
Yeah, and that included the one-way fee of like $1,000 to have the car hire company and drive it back.
Yeah.
So another couple, they had a Dodge Durango.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't know what that looks like. I have to research that one.
Sound very cool.
yeah, Dodge Durango. Do you know, it looks alright, to be honest with you. It's okay. And then
It's another big SUV thing, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely, yeah. And the other couple had was what was it? Was it a Caddy? I'll have to have a look back through my photos now, but it was a Caddy STS, I think, or something like that. So quite a big car.
CTS.
Is it CTS? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, CTS. That's right. Yeah. So I had one of those. And again, it's a nice car, but they wanted a bit more comfort, whereas we wanted to just blat around in Mustangs and Camaros.
Yeah.
I think the Dodge Durango is like Dodge's version of, say, the Escalade and Yukon and
I
stuff
know
like
what you're
that.
saying.
And
Yeah,
they do a really, really hot version of it, where I think they put the same engine, a Hellcat engine,
Yes, that's
Is
it.
it?
They
in
do.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
they are, as most things are in America, they're really good value for money. I think in went over, I think they're $50,000-$60,000, which it's still a lot of money, but you've got an 800 horsepower SUV.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they either had one of them on Top Gear or the Grand Tour or something like that.
Possibly,
but yeah,
yes.
Yeah, the Durango with the Hellcat engine in it. But they
If
do
it was
do
the
one.
Grand Tour, I think they had the Jeep Trackhawk.
This is why he's on this show.
remembering the cars,
Richard Hammond drove the Trackhawk,
Yeah.
which is one of my favourite cars.
Yeah.
But my favourite car list is.
I was going to say, you've got loads of favourite
I
cars.
have.
Every episode now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, Americans seem to have a really good way of shoehorning V8s into everyday cars and making them hot.
But the thing is, though, if you can, why not?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what we can't do.
Yeah, for respectively not a lot of money either.
Yeah.
They'd cost an arm and a leg over here with import tax and stuff. But if you're over there with fuel as cheap as it is, figuratively speaking, over there, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So you deviated a little bit off Route 66, didn't you?
Yeah.
You went to probably one of the things I'm most envious of you guys doing, and you went to Gas Monkey.
We did, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
How was that?
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So Sue that did the interiors, we managed to meet her as well, which was fantastic. And she was
stupid ass monkeys.
Yeah, she was just nuts. She was absolutely nuts. So our first time seeing Sue come out the door was she said, "Wait a minute, I've got to feed my cat." And then obviously she picked the cat's food up, went inside, and we're like, "What do we do now? Do we go in? Do we follow her or what?" And we met
I was going to say
one of the guys from Gas Monkey as well. I can't remember his name now, but one of them came out on his lunch break, and that was it. He come out to meet us.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So we do have a photo with him as well. So
was there a little tour, or did you just go to the gate and
just to the gate?
have a beer in?
Yeah.
Just to say you've been there and done it.
That basically, yeah. And they had the merch store with a couple of motors in there. I think there was a Plymouth in there as well, actually, knocking around, and a couple of other things in there. But so we had a little mooch around the merch store, bought some t-shirts as you do.
I have to, don't you?
Yeah, Richard Rawlins was off filming somewhere, so he wasn't about. So we did that, visited there. It's fantastic.
So,
and went to the bar and grill as well for dinner. Which
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, really good.
That's
so
cool.
out of all the things that you did on 66, and that probably being one of the highlights, what was the other best thing you did on Route 66?
Do you know what I think? If I was to sort of describe the highlight of the road, it was just going back in time, because you're driving on the old tarmac away from the interstate, and it's like driving through museum piece.
Yeah, because you did the bits with the car standing up. Did you do that?
Yeah, we did Cadillac Ranch. Yeah, we did that,
Yeah.
and painted things on it. Some male genitalia as well.
What's the crack there? Do you buy the paint before you get there? Or
You literally go to like their version of like Halford's, buy some spray paint, turn up and just crack on. There's no security there, nothing like that. You just literally park up, walk in, and spray your names on the cars. Yeah,
there's a little business opportunity there. We could go there and sell cans of
exactly. I'm surprised someone hadn't already done that. If I'm honest with you,
right, we'll cut that bit.
Business venture. You could do one outside.
Yeah,
for the old fiestas and stuff like that.
I could actually.
Fiesta Ranch.
Yeah.
So if you could do that again, you say you've done it. It's the greatest holiday you've ever had.
Yeah,
if you could do it again, but choose any car to do it in.
Yeah.
Money's no object.
Money's no object.
Yeah.
What would you do it in?
Oh, good question.
And it could be anything from any point in time, from when the motor car was invented, right up to your Honda i20. It can be. it can be anything you want.
Or my Seat Ateca.
Yeah, or your Seat Ateca. If you could do it again. Any car on the planet, what would you do it in?
It would definitely be a classic, one that was kind of reliable. Again, it'd be American bred, something like that. But I think what we were talking about earlier, the Plymouth with the massive wing on the back, I'd do it in that. I really would. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I would do it in that. Just something iconic of that era.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to be a very expensive car these days to get something mint like that. Yeah, it would just be something like that. Just something classic American, something that screams America, like that. For sure. Just ridiculous. Yeah.
Cool.
Brilliant.
I like that answer. Yeah. I like the idea of having the walkies-talkies as well.
Yeah, that sounds really
good. I was going to say, I think half of the experience would be having a giggle with your mates.
Yeah.
And if you're just there with one other, you'd have a giggle, but not as much as if you're having a bit of banter.
No, that's right. No, absolutely.
And how long did it take you, coast to coast?
So we did it in 17 days, or it might have been 18 days actually, one of the two. Yeah. So it was kind of. It wasn't rushed, but it was a little bit rushed because, of timescales of some of the others that had to get back to work and things like that.
Without probably getting you in trouble, I don't know if your missus is going to watch this. How much did it cost to do the as a holiday package?
I think I'd probably put $3,000 into it.
Oh, right,
yeah, so this was back in 2017. So, and that was with the hire car and everything like that. So it was.
So that's flights over there.
Flights over there. But obviously, this is split between me and Dave, so we obviously split the cost. So yeah, flights weren't too bad at the time.
No.
So it's flights, hire the car, obviously petrol.
Yeah, and accommodation was dirt cheap. You're paying like £26 a night.
Oh wow.
Something like that, £30 a night. But that was shared between Dave and I, so it was costing us like 15 quid.
Was you top and tailing?
Yeah, it was comfortable. Yeah,
Brilliant. And which
We've done that
I
before.
never remember the
yeah, that's right.
the
Morning,
route.
Dave.
Do you go east to west or west to east?
No, we went east to west, yeah, and I think that's probably the best way to
Because
do
you
it.
ended up
Chicago
in,
to Los Angeles.
You
yeah.
ended up in Vegas, didn't you?
Yeah, so we took a bit of a detour. So we missed a little section of 66 because none of us had been to Vegas before. So it was Dave's birthday holiday, so we decided we'll go up to Vegas for a couple of nights. So yeah, we took a detour up to Vegas and then back down and met them again in, I can't remember where it was now. But yeah, we met the other group because they went south and went to, no, sorry, didn't go south, it was north to Monument Valley. They wanted to do that kind of bit because they'd all been to Vegas before.
Yeah.
So we sort of split up just for like 2 nights, I think it was, and then met up again.
Okay.
So yeah, we took Vegas in as part of it as well, had a couple of nights there.
I think
Yes.
And it still only cost $3 grand.
Yeah, he was only putting $1 in every machine. That's all we had.
I was going to spend that on strippers.
Yeah.
Right. You've said off camera you're quite used to be into Formula One and stuff like that. So
Yes.
tracks around the world.
Yeah.
If you could do any track in any car,
Yeah.
if you're familiar with it, what would you do?
Brands Hatch, I'd love to drive Brands Hatch.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite a technical track that.
Yeah.
By the looks of it, and there was one that Top Gear used to go to all the time in America in the desert somewhere. And I can't remember the name of it, but it was it had like the most dangerous.
Laguna Seca.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the most dangerous curve on it or something like. Yeah, I'd love to have a crack at that. That'd be fantastic. Yeah.
That's what I said.
That's
Yeah.
come up a few times, hasn't
Yeah.
it?
And what car would you do it in? Any car to your choice. If there's something out there now that you've seen, recent one, like I've said I'm quite into resto mods at the minute. So there's a little Alphaholics GTA R or something.
Yeah.
Which I'd love to do it in, but equally I'd love to do it in a Valkyrie because I think they're just technological masterpieces.
Yeah.
So what would be your car?
I think a GT500 Shelby Mustang. Yeah, definitely.
An Eleanor.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would love to do it in that.
The only thing I would say about that is I'd be so even that like money's no object and like if you was to smash it up,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
'Cause
don't
you're-
matter, yeah.
Oh, we're not talking. We don't need to talk about schematics.
Yeah, I think I'd end up driving around in like so slow just in case I was to damage anything. I'd like something like that.
Yeah, but
I
just
might
when you
drive-
get-
I
when
might
you-
be just scared of dying because I'd probably go so fast in the corners I'd just come off and be on my roof.
Yeah, but just think, when you get on that straight at Laguna Seca, it's straight and then it curves round just a little bit.
plant it, yeah.
But just press go, baby, go
Yeah,
on the straight.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, I haven't even sat in a GT500. However, I just had a love for them, So I'd definitely do it in one of them without
Brilliant.
doubt.
Is
Yeah,
that
I'd
from
love
Gone in 60 Seconds?
Yeah.
Okay, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, go, baby, go.
to. Yeah.
Right, on to...
Just before you do that, because you've done Route 66 before,
Yeah.
would you go AC? You can only pick one, AC or radio?
Ooh, good question. Radio.
Radio. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think everybody said that so far.
Yeah, radio, definitely. Yeah.
No, Tom said.
Tom said AC
because he's a big guy.
Yeah.
No. I mean, we had the roof down all the time and stuff like that. So apart from when it got too hot and we started burning,
Yeah.
I had to go in the Camaro and it was so hot in the desert that we took our t-shirts off. And there's me and Mike at the time. We had to drive in the Camaro. We had seatbelt marks down our chest from the
Brilliant.
and that was just from a few hours driving it with no top on.
Did you have any trouble with the law over there? Did you get
None.
pulled? None at all?
None at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Which we expected that we might do. Especially some of the stuff we were doing, like drag races in ghost towns. That was fantastic. And we thought, at some point here, we're going to get collared.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't. So, yeah, we were lucky.
Yeah, because you get like horror stories. Well, I often think that they make a beeline for you because you're like that they can charge like fine you for next to nothing and you can't really appeal for it. So I always kind of have in the back of my mind thinking if you used to do it. I know they say like going across Europe.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I
can't
was
just-
looking behind the billboards. In like all the classic movies, there's always a cop car sat
you'd
behind
love
the
to see
billboard.
more of a speed gun.
So every time I saw like a billboard, I was like, right, there's a cop behind there. Let's be careful there, sort of thing. But no, we didn't have any trouble with the law at all over there.
One more question on this because obviously it's fascinating for us.
Yeah.
But were you driving through like complete nothingness?
Yes.
Again, I've done Florida.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, and I've done. Where was it? LA to Las Vegas. I've driven that, but I was a kid. My dad was driving.
Yeah.
Was there a part in America? Because I remember a bit in Florida where were you driving and there was nothing,
Yeah.
and then there was just the most random shop that you didn't expect.
Oh, loads of that.
There-
Loads. Yeah.
the funny thing in Florida, and I hope you can beat it, is we were just driving along, going to this place for our daughter, who she wanted to go. She used to rock climb, so she wanted to go to this specific place. And we were driving for an hour through nothing. Suddenly, sex shop. Nothing. And then there was what's something? The tarot people.
Psychics.
And then we drove for another hour, and it was just a psychic.
Yeah.
But it was just in the middle of nowhere, so random. That you get fucked, and then you know, have your tarot reading about it afterwards.
You're going to make a baby.
Yeah, exactly. Have I got you pregnant? And you find out.
Exactly.
So,
that's right,
what was the most random thing that you saw on your journey?
So driving through the Texas Panhandle, we drove for about 100 miles, and it was nothing but wind turbines. We didn't see a building, a garage, nothing. And this part of the route was on the interstate.
Yeah.
So we just put the cruise control on, had the tunes up, and it was just 100 miles of wind turbines.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it in my life. But I distinctly remember that was in the Texas Panhandle. And then we didn't come across like random shops or anything, but then obviously you just come across like the next town on 66 we have to come off. But yeah, I've never seen emptiness like it.
It's mad,
and that's a lot in America. I mean, me and the missus did a road trip around Arizona, so we went down to the deep Wild West and went down to Tombstone, things like that. And we had a convertible Beetle at the time in that one because she wanted something cool.
Nice.
So yeah, and this was her first road trip in America as well. So I said to her, I was trying to describe, that sensation of just seeing nothing for miles. So we drove down. We started in LA, did a loop, and ended up back in LA. So we drove down to San Diego, stayed the night there, and then we had to go over the mountains. I can't remember the mountain range, and I said, when we get over here, you're probably not going to see anything, and I just want to sort of see what your reaction is as well. So we had the roof down, and obviously it was nice and hot in San Diego. Got to the top of the mountain, it was like -6, so we're freezing our asses off. And then I remember we just crested this mountain range, and she just went, that is a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
And it, you see this mountain in the distance, and it just doesn't get any closer.
Yeah,
It's just the same mountain, and you're like, 2 hours later, are we there yet? And just trying to sort of describe that to people that haven't done a road trip in the States is...
It's probably another thing on the bucket list. I'd love to go to experience Bonneville Salt Flats.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be a bucket... Maybe just to spectate with the people who've got big enough balls and bigger balls than me.
I'd love to go there.
To go and watch it. Because you think it's a dried up riverbed.
Yeah.
And they'll do 200, 300, whatever miles an hour. But the mountain range you see over there is like 25 miles away.
Yeah.
It's just the perspective of, like you say, nothingness in America. Is
that when they used the rocket card?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's
I'll do me 1 litre.
So we see who can go the slowest.
The slowest. He's got the slowest car.
The slowest record at Bonneville.
That could be a challenge we could do. Who's got the slowest car?
Me.
Right.
But use the most gas. I can't work it out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Why weren't you doing any more than 50?
We are going to deviate slightly onto music now.
Ooh.
So you're doing Route 66 again.
Yes.
In your Superbird.
Yeah.
You're getting to the end of it.
Yeah.
Say there's an imaginary finish line where you've gone, I've completed Route 66.
Yeah.
What is your tune that you play as you go along?
Oh my God. Right.
Has to be one song.
One song. I don't know.
Don't know?
No, there's so many. There's so many sort of different... I'm not very musically minded, so I'm sort of more into like my dance music and like classic trance stuff like that.
It could be anything you want, mate. Like we said for me, example, my music journey is all rave, whatever. But I would choose a piece of classical music that.
Oh really?
To go across the finish line, because if you drive 3,000 miles, you go. It would probably get quite boring.
You know, like one of these kind of like I don't know, like mellow dance tracks, the sort of thing that you would kind of have at the end of like a night in Ibiza or something like that, where you're sitting on the beach looking at the sunset, and you just got this nice,
like Paul Van Dyke for an angel,
yeah,
or
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
just this nice ambient music that you can just sort of sit there and just chill out and
appreciate what's going on.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm going to pick it in. Nayland and Kane Beach Ball.
Oh, that one. That is epic.
That means nothing to me.
That means nothing to you, but the reaction I got.
Yeah, definitely definitely that. Yeah, I reckon that would be the one, if I'm honest with you, because that is a cracking track. That's one of them sort of like sunrise.
Yeah, it's a sunrise stroke sunset.
Absolutely,
song.
That's
it's
right.
Perfect.
Yeah, it'd be that.
So going back a little bit, how many times did it take you to pass your test? This is one of our leaderboard things.
2.
2. Okay.
Yeah. So the first one, I was just a little bit unlucky. So there was a car. So we were pulling out of a junction on the brow of a hill, and I raced it. Did the I nailed it.
Break it off, yeah.
I'll put it in reverse. No. So there was nothing coming, did my checks, and then I started pulling out, examiner sticks his foot on the anchors. There's a car that had flown over this hill. So I was like, right, that's a fail. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So then second time I luckily passed.
Okay.
I think I got like 4 minors or something, 3 or 4
So
minors.
Chris is going to add that to the board.
Yeah.
I think I'm leading it. It took me 3 times to pass.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. In my defence, the first time I was really nervous. Second time it was torrential rain and I couldn't see like 4 foot in front of me.
Yeah.
And the instructor's going, on the next left, I want you to turn left. And I was like, I can't even see it left. So we ended up having a bit of an argument. And then
that'll fail if you argue, wouldn't it?
and
Get
then
his cane out like an old teacher and he'll just hit you with it.
That's right. That's training for road rage, mate. That is, yeah. You have internal road rage.
I think they should actually include that as part of the test, to be honest with you. Yeah, do a bit of road rage. Let's see what happens here, because it's like commonplace, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But then, and then when we got back to the test place, the test centre, it was like I shouldn't have took you out there. It was like it was raining too much.
Really?
Like, well, you shouldn't have took me out.
You shouldn't have took me out and found me, yeah, because now that's a fail on my account.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
But,
yeah.
Right, I think we are on to the last question, which is going to be a funny one. What is the ugliest car ever? In your opinion?
There's a lot out there. Anything French.
Anything French?
Yeah, I hate French cars. I did test French cars.
Pick one.
Oh, God. It's got to be... I don't like the Citroen 2CV.
Okay.
It just looks shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just an awful looking car. Those stupid bug eyes that just don't need to be there. Hate them.
It always reminded me of like a Wish version of a Beetle.
A Timu Beetle.
You just look at it and just immediately want to be sick. It's awful. I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
Basic as they come.
Whereas the missus says, I'd love one of them, and I'm like, why? Why do you want to? Yeah, don't know. You know. But I hate it. Absolutely hate that thing.
It's nice that someone said something different because the vast majority of guests have said Fiat Multipla.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Another one is that, what do they call it? The Chrysler, it looks like a hearse. What's that one?
The one they used to like.
PT Cruiser.
Yeah.
Oh, we like it.
No.
Only because we went to a car show and there was a couple that had been done up and they looked pretty cool.
They look semi-decent.
I wouldn't say I'd own one, but they look pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, Fiat Multipla, that's a good one because you look at the front of it and you go, where are the headlights? Some up there,
and they're up there, yeah,
and some underneath. You know, and you're like, what are they all about?
Yeah.
Awful cars. Yeah,
it was terrible.
But I don't like the 2CV, and a lot of people might shoot me for that because obviously it's quite a classic French car. But
it's your opinion, mate. So,
well, after doing a bit of research for the Bond episode that we're going to do, there was a 2CV in
Bond drove
There was,
a
yellow one or something.
Yes,
yellow
it was.
one. That's right.
It ended up being quite a classic in the movie. Car thing.
It's quite strange. You know, obviously, one of my weird cars I owned was the Peugeot. What was it? Was it 308cc that I had? Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
convertible one. Yeah.
I don't know why I got that, but it's a horrible car.
Yeah.
It just.
To be honest,
it's just horrible. It's like, why did I do that? And I think it was the Honda Accord Type S that I traded in for that. And I was like, 6 weeks later, I went back to Perry's. I remember the dealership in Bletchley, and I went back. You haven't, by chance, still got my Accord, have you? Because I just wanted it back. I was like, what have I done?
That'd be the next question. The biggest downgrade.
That is the biggest downgrade. 100%.
Peugeot brought out a car at the same time. It was I can't remember what it was, but it looked a lot like an Audi TT and a Porsche.
RCZ.
RCZ.
Yeah, it had like a bubble roof.
RCZ.
That was a nice looking car.
Yeah, I saw one of them a couple of weeks ago, and I was surprised it was still on the road, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But,
I think they brought them out in, must be 2010, something like that. Yeah,
nice.
the RCZ.
Yeah, really nice.
See, my wife had the Peugeot 3008, I think it was, like a 2016, I want to say, maybe. No, it might even be earlier than that. And just the build quality on them is just awful. They just fall apart.
Car.
Every time that she stuck her foot on the clutch, something made a bang, and it should not do that, And I sort of convinced her to sell it. She went, "It's a great car." No, it's not. Sell it. Get rid of it.
Russ has got a solution for things like that. Just whenever there's a rattle or a thing, whatever, just stick a penny in the gap. Stick a penny in the gap.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it's
that's
like
one of my
savings account. When you get your car written off.
That is one of my biggest OCD things is rattles in cars. It just drives me insane. So any car that I buy, if the build quality is not good, that's probably why I've sold so many, because it rattles and I'm going, no, get rid, gone. I can't stand rattles and things in cars.
Years ago, I went from like a BMW to a Zafira, a Vauxhall Zafira, and I remember the BMW used to get like the air vents and turn up the air volume and everything used to like click. It
Oh,
felt
yeah,
strong and
yeah.
sturdy. And then I got
Yeah.
in the Vauxhall and I just went like that, and it almost broke in my hands. It felt all like just weak and cheap and
That's
nasty.
the difference
and that.
between Germany and Luton, mate.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I always thought I wouldn't go back to anything like that again.
Yeah. No, same. I'm exactly
the
the same.
first thing
yeah.
I do when I get in cars is turn the knobs and push buttons and move things about. And,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple of German cars in the past, you know, VWs and things.
You had a Bora.
I did have a
I'm
Bora.
quite
Yes,
a fan of a Bora.
I like the Bora.
I've
Yeah.
never had one, but I find them.
You nearly did once, didn't you?
I very nearly did.
We
Yeah, I
went to
think I
we
brought, I brought a Vectra instead, didn't I?
Yeah.
Luton again. Luton won.
No, again, the Bora, I love that car. Just so comfortable. It was a 1.6, but they did the V6 4Motion version of the car as well.
Yeah.
And again, I couldn't quite afford that at the time,
Yeah.
so I made the Bora look like the V6. So
Nice.
I bought the wheels and
Yeah,
did
good
the
man.
exhaust. Yeah,
Yeah.
had a Miltech exhaust put on it as well, just to make it look nicer, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great car. I love that.
Yeah, I'm
But one car
quite
I've never
fond
owned
of
is a BMW. I've never owned a Beamer. So I think that's on my shopping list as the next one, just to say that I've owned one.
Which
Yeah.
one?
I'd love a 3 Series or a 5 Series, something like that. Just nice, or like an X5 potentially. Or they do the GT version, don't they? They do like the
You
GT.
just want all of them.
I'll take all of them. Yeah, I'll put it from my list and say, I've had a Beamer now.
All of
Yeah,
them.
I've never owned a BMW. I don't know why. I've just never sort of gone down that road.
Never
yet.
scratch that itch.
No, not yet. But no, it's definitely one to scratch for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not a fan of Mercedes. I wouldn't have one of those.
I find Mercedes are the only car now that still rust. So we were talking about this the other day, and Dave was saying, like, back in the day, like your Fords and your Vauxhalls and everything, they didn't really, after 10 years, they were starting to rust and fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
Where Mercedes is the only car you see on the road now
Yeah.
that are probably 10 years old and start to show rust.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, I've not, because I had a couple of Mercedes, and I always had to fill the arches and but these are old ones.
Yeah.
But then even newer ones that friends and family are around,
Yeah.
if you look at the same bits, all go around the arches, around the petrol tanks, around the.
It's because years and years ago, Mercedes were built to the best that it can physically be built to.
Yeah.
Best materials and everything.
Yeah.
Then the accountants got involved.
Yeah.
That's
The company
exactly
wanted
right.
to make more money.
Yeah.
So they started making it out of thinner steel or didn't seam it
Yeah.
properly. The corners were cut in the manufacturing process. So there was this thing between about 2002 to maybe 2010 where cars would rust after about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, they were shit,
Yeah.
basically.
I had I couldn't quite afford a Mercedes, so I had a Smart 4.4.
We're a fan of smarts, aren't we?
I love that car.
Yeah.
It was a go-kart. It was
Yeah.
brilliant. And, you know, yes, I've mentioned I'm tall enough. So obviously sitting in something like that, my feet were touching the headlights because you had so much legroom in them things.
So did you have the Mark 1 or the newer one?
I had the newer one.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah.
So I had the newer one. So that was rear engine, 0.9 turbo. So that was the Mercedes engine as opposed to, I think it's the Renault engine is a 1 litre. They do a 1 litre lump and that's a Renault engine. But yeah, I made sure I had the Mercedes engine with the turbo and it was a rocket. It was brilliant. Yeah.
And your knees were the crumple zone.
Yeah, the knees were the crumple zone. Yeah. But in that time, when I used to go and get it serviced, if I had a hire car, they'd obviously give you a Merc. And it just didn't have any feel about them, you know, just didn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did the four? Which one did you
At
have?
the 4.4.
4.4.
Yeah.
Is that the same as the way that the two-seater one is? It's all built around a frame, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be really like structurally.
Yeah.
Exactly
sound,
the
like-
same.
Is it?
Yeah, exactly the same.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I can't remember what they call the frame, but it
Because
is
I think
they
they used
basically.
to use like a wrecking ball in one of
Pretty
the
much.
things, and it didn't bend the chassis or the frame at all.
Yeah, it's supposed to be one of the
impressive.
strongest frames in existence. Yeah, so it was like this modular design, and they just literally put everything in, you know, inside it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great design. But yeah, legroom wise, I mean, that thing was probably had of all the cars I've ever driven, had the most legroom, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
It's another tall guy who likes small cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
No,
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot of hot hatches
Yeah.
in my driving life. So Russ found it strange when I would go and buy a car.
Yeah.
And I went from a Nova GSI
Yeah.
to a 106 GTI.
Yeah.
It's another
Yeah.
small car.
It is.
And me and Russ, we've
6'2",
we've
6'3".
fought for height over
Yeah.
the years, haven't we?
Yeah,
Depends on what heels are wearing.
I mean, I've had the same love. I've always had, and if I could get a classic sort of retro car now, it would probably be like a Nova GSI.
Yeah.
Something like that. I've never scratched that itch, but I kind of still feel it's one that I'd want to scratch, and I don't think it'd be too long before I end up owning one, even if it's just for a little bit, just to say I've owned it. But I think your reasoning behind the small car thing is why I like small cars now, because you can just throw them around anywhere, you know, and I just love that go-kart feel of just chucking something into a corner.
We recently had a Mini, we ended up getting scrapped, which really upset my missus, but we scrapped it. But that thing was amazing. Yeah. But you could literally take roundabouts at 40, 50 mile an hour and it just did not budge.
No, that's right. And even if you just try and make it lose, it won't.
It won't do it, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the Smart was the same. I mean, the first original Smart, the Mark 1, they had a terrible thing of understeering. I don't know if you've ever driven one, but you know, you could turn the steering wheel full lock, put your foot down, and it just goes straight. Yeah, they were terrible.
Oh, was that?
But the Mark II version, which I owned, was much better car. I never used to do that, but you could just throw it anywhere. It was great car.
Oh. Right. Before we wrap this up, have you got any funny car stories that you think us and our audience would like to hear? Anything at all?
Yeah, so I was one of my i20s, and it was the one that was jinxed. I was driving that back down some country lanes back from Silverstone, and I was on the phone to the missus having a chat, and I just lost concentration and went straight into a field, straight into a cornfield. And she heard all this rattling and banging and stuff like that, and she went, "You all right?" And I went, "No, I'm in a field." All while talking to her on the phone.
So you almost forgot to turn a corner?
Yeah, the corner was there, and I just went that way, just straight up. And it was a cornfield. I was lost in it.
This doesn't sound like the car was jinxed. It sounds like you.
I think it might have been something to do with me, maybe. Yeah, but again, that's the only car that I've had issues with was that i20. You know, and I hope it's on the scrappy. I was in this field, and that was it. I had to end up picking bits out of it and things like that. Yeah,
brilliant.
Full of corn. Yeah,
superb.
No, that was a really good interview.
Yeah,
thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah,
no,
good stuff.
So as always, we've got some merch on the go.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see that past Barry's mic. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
But also, what we are going to do, we had technical issues today. We'll blame the storm, shall we?
Blame the storm, yeah. A bit rough out there.
But we are setting up a leaderboard car simulator thingy in here.
Yeah.
So please come back.
Definitely.
Try your hand at driving.
See if we can get on the top of the leaderboard.
Whatever track we're going to do.
That's a Top Gear track.
Top Gear track?
Brilliant.
Yeah. So we're going to invite all our guests back, have a go on a Top Gear track. Let's see where you are.
Yeah, definitely. Have they got a 1 litre Ateca on there?
They might have.
We'll have to have a look. Actually, that's not a bad call, is it? We have to find something really shit to use.
Yeah, definitely. There's got to be something terrible like that.
We can't use reasonably priced car because
that's already been done.
So what should we use?
If shit ones, we've got a chance of actually winning something.
Maybe like the ugliest car or something like that. Something along those lines.
A multipler.
Yeah, if you get a multipler on there, it can be one of them. Definitely.
I'm gutted we haven't got it set up
Let's do it.
Right, but no, thank you for doing us.
Thank you very much, mate.
Excellent.
And like, comment, subscribe, follow us.
All that rest of that.
All that jazz.
Stuff. Right, thank you very much.
Have you said your...
I did, I said
your own line.
Yeah, I'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
There's an innuendo there.
Right. Grand job.